Apollo 11 Houston, we recommend you accept the now 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards. Over. You're okay.
Hello and welcome to the Depths of Jigoku Podcast, where we talk about whatever we want and whatever is happening in the digital real world. Today we are joined by our usual crew, Kain, me, back from the dead, DreadPirate.
Well, I'm glad to be back.
KickenBeans,
Hello.
Scorch,
Yo.
and our lovely, trustworthy, definitely not trying to kill us, AI overlord, BiPoe.
We're not trying to kill you now.
All right,
Yeah.
let's hop right into this.
Well, hang on. Is the cake a lie, BiPoe?
You got to find out for yourself.
I argue the cake isn't a lie. You can get to it at the end of the game if you go through the secret passageways.
Are you part of the AI team that's trying to take over everything?
I plead
That
the
stutter
fifth.
means yes.
I plead the fifth.
This leads us right into our topic, or one of our topics, which is dead internet theory.
Okay.
I think it's true. I read it. I absolutely have believed long before I even read that the government is purposely creating content to keep the people distracted.
I don't think it's the government. I've worked for the government. They're not that competent.
I mean, while yes, there's too many hands in the pot with the government to be competent, I could still believe that there might be one or two within that are doing stuff to influence us in that aspect.
So I'm currently contracted to an unbeknownst 3-letter agency. And one of the contract is I'm adding security cameras. These security cameras need IP addresses to talk back to the server. I have been trying to get these IP addresses from the IT team that works for this unbeknownst 3-letter agency for 3 fucking weeks. They do not know how to access their own system to get IP addresses.
Yeah, but when it comes to keeping the people distracted and sheepish,
Dude, it's a server farm. You would think they would know what they're doing.
All right, so in more realistic applications, is the government doing it? Most likely not. Are there agencies? No, I don't even want to say the word agencies. Are there companies out there that are privatized that are doing this because they're getting paid to?
Oh,
I
for
believe
sure.
that 100%.
For sure.
okay.
But I think a majority of it is just now probably AI bots, because everyone needs a hug. or it's like those old school Russian and Chinese troll bots that are just trying to get information from you to steal your identity or your bank account or whatever.
Well, I mean, think about this though. Think about how much Google has information on us. That's not necessarily AI driven. That's programmatically driven, and it's becoming AI driven because now they're teaching you how to do that, right?
Oh yeah, our AI overlords are gonna win.
Jobs, man.
But I mean, all of the information that Google collects on us alone probably fills the internet.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? Just all the metrics and metadata.
I'm gonna take you back to a time before internet popularity, a time before cell phones. Do you boys
The
remember
90s?
Stumble Upon?
Yeah.
I was just talking about Stumble Upon it 2 weeks ago.
That's how us
I
teenagers navigated our random porn.
I learned the most ridiculous things from Stumble Upon. The first time I learned how to synthesize a certain thing was from Stumble Upon.
Stumble Upon
A
was
lot of-
internet at its best.
Yeah, a lot of my science articles that I discovered and read actually came from Stumble Upon, which was really fucking nice.
Also true. And they're then you stumble upon the dumbest pages that were literally the whole page was one game. And it
yeah,
was
or
ridiculous,
just
but
color blocks.
Yeah, and it was ridiculous, but you find yourself playing this stupid game for 45 minutes at least.
Flash games. Flash
Or-
games were the
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, exactly. And then you
What
get
was
look,
it,
click that little stumble upon button again and take something completely different.
what
So
was the name
for
of the
the-
website? Something Undergrounds. Do you guys remember that one? It was just like all Flash
Oh, yes.
oh.
Oh my gosh.
games. Yeah.
So while
Nostalgia
Beans
moment for
is
you.
looking that up-
New. You talking about Newgrounds?
Newgrounds.
Newgrounds.
That's what it was. It was
Yeah,
Newgrounds.
that is what it was.
Oh, shit, is
Can
Can
Newgrounds
someone
still a thing?
explain to
Newgrounds Flash
totally our
Player.
younger
Newgrounds
viewers
is
what
still
Stumble Upon
available.
was?
I got you, BiPoe. Give me a second.
I was gonna say,
I'm
put your
not
little
calling
flag
myself
there.
out, but
Okay, so no, I got you, Bo. So Stumble Upon was this website you can go to, and later on, when it was out, you could download a little install thing to where you can just click a button while you were surfing the internet, and it would take you to a random site, and it could
You-
be truly anything.
Yeah, I'm on the Newgrounds website. It's still up. But
That's
yeah,
impressive
so
because Flash is dead.
yeah,
Flash is dead.
Stumble Upon was cool because you gave it your interests and you literally just clicked a button that called Stumble, and it would feed you websites one at a time that were generally safe. Every once in a while they were kind of wonky, but it would feed you random websites from the internet that fell into that specific genre. And you could, every time you log on, you could be like, I'm just looking for sci-fi. And it would just feed you cool sci-fi forums or cool sci-fi games, all kinds of crazy shit.
so this would let you stumble upon like Rule 34 without having to say Rule 34.
No, that's
Pretty
4chan.
much.
It's fortunate.
Yeah.
That was
But
4chan.
like for example,
Someone
like
would take you to 4chan.
Which is also where the Dead Internet theory started, was 4chan. I just read up on that.
No shit.
but the other thing that was really unique for Stumble Upon that I really enjoyed about it was like, let's say it'll take you to a science website, but then you're on the main page of this website and you're kind of inundated and overloaded with a whole bunch of just options and everything on that. Stumble Upon will literally, like, if you say that you're interested in like space science, it'll take you to a specific page within a website that'll just be a topic that's already got the article instead of you having to like navigate a whole bunch of shit. So it'll like take you to very specific things, and if you really liked it and you wanted to see more about it, you can click on the link that it's from, and then it'll take you to that main site and you can explore that. Or you can just hit stumble and it'll take you to the next very isolated page within a website or program or whatever.
So
Was
didn't-
this the?
Go ahead, Bo.
This is a dumb question. Was this like the original like I feel lucky from Google?
That's actually what I
Yes.
was about to say. Is that Google sort of? I think Google bought the Stumble algorithm and then made it into their "I'm feeling lucky."
Is
Yep.
that what that is?
Yep.
I've never clicked that button.
So Google's
I
at
clicked
fault
it-
for the failure of Stumble Upon. Fucking
I
So
clicked
figures.
it once and it
Of
scared me,
course.
and I never clicked it again.
That and Stumble Upon is no longer like a web page applicate or website thing. It's only an app. So like in order to use Stumble Upon, you have to download the app, and then you can do that.
On your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, or a tablet or whatever the fuck you use apps on.
Well, so they changed
I think
Stumble
I might
Upon
do
to a social media platform because it
Oh,
was like
really?
right when Facebook came out of the college era and MySpace was dying slowly.
MySpace died as soon as Facebook came in, but
I was gonna say
we did
slowly
talk
is a
dirty,
very
man.
understatement.
We
So they
did
made
talk
it to where
dirty.
you could stumble like your friend's interest, and 90% of us, a hard 90% of us, just used it to stumble random porn. So no one wanted that shit out, so no one made an account, and it immediately died.
Okay.
So speaking of Stumble and things like that, what was it like a couple years ago? There was a petition about like the internet 2 or keeping the net neutrality, right?
Oh yeah.
That was the other thing. So that kind of goes along with the dead internet theory is net neutrality. It's like keeping the internet free for everybody to use how they want and not owned by corporations and basically feeding us ads and information that we not necessarily want to see, but what they want us to see, right?
But doesn't it just kind of become that in a roundabout way?
But it literally just it stopped being talked about, right?
Yeah.
So like net neutrality was huge for like 3 years, and then they stopped talking about it. Now I think it's that internet theory. I think it just evolved into that.
And like now I can literally talk. I can have a conversation with somebody about something, and the next time I jump on a social media page, it shows me a targeted ad
Yes.
from a conversation.
Yep.
That's your phone and device is recording you.
Yep. That's everything listening to you. You talk about going out to get jewelry, and then you go, to your favorite webpage to read your latest game news, and suddenly there's jewelry ads. Like
Yep.
that's Google doing its shit.
Can I say I had the scariest thing happen to me, and scariest as in not like kind of like what we're talking about. I never sang it out loud. I never said it out loud. I was just thinking that like the Band-Aid theme song, like I'm stuck on Band-Aids because Band-Aids stick on me.
Oh yeah.
And I was scrolling through like YouTube, and motherfucker, that ad popped up 3 times. I'm like, this, I didn't say anything. It just happened. I didn't look at it. I didn't say it one word. I didn't even think about. I wasn't even hurt. I don't know. Kind of scared.
You think it's reading your brainwaves?
Well, I am an AI, so probably. But
Yeah.
still kind of fucking scary.
Did you
Whoever's
did you
doing
do
your
that?
security is you gotta fucking fire them.
Or did you meet up with Elon and get the implant?
No,
Kind of want the implant,
No.
not gonna lie.
I do not want.
I
the
do
implant.
remember Java for fun.
I'd rather not have my brain overheat.
Dude, that
anything
guy
with
got to
Flash
do all
Player
kinds
is
of
fun.
crazy shit.
Before his brain overheated.
No, just some of the they had to kill some of the cells off, so he lost a little bit of functionality, but they can fix that in software.
Yeah. Nah, I'd rather listen. I don't. The only time I'm ever going to get plugged into like a Matrix-esque thing is when I'm being plugged into the Matrix.
Who says you're not already in there?
Well, I haven't had a really weird bald black dude with reflective sunglasses show me 2 pills yet.
That's because you're not Neo.
And also,
Not.
Morpheus died
You're not the chosen one.
long
Kinda.
before today.
Kinda.
Actually, you're one of the machines. As we've already discussed.
Damn
Ooh,
fucking
as we
right.
have.
Don't fuck with. Well, I could also be one of the. There was like a. I could be really wrong. This could have just been a few reasons. Like one of like the good agents. One of the good agent Smiths that like.
Were there
worked
good
with them.
agents?
Were there good agents, or there were
I
agents acting
think
good?
in the last movie, there was an Agent Smith that was quote good, but that's just because there was a rogue Agent Smith trying to destroy just everything in general.
Because they're running out of things to write about.
Are you talking
Probably.
about Resurrections?
Yeah, is that the last one? I don't know.
I mean, that is
just-
the most recent.
I just I remember
there
watching it.
There wasn't a
With-
good Agent Smith. He just wanted to go kill Neo again once he like saw him. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember I was at I watched it with DreadPirate and Kain, and I don't remember half the movie because I was just zonked out of my mind. I'm like, no way, and then that's
Zonked.
it. Yeah,
that is
Well,
the
I
the
can't-
computer choice of words.
I can't.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Okay.
Some drugs are bad.
I agree.
All drugs are bad.
Sweet. I'm like 20% way through printing an ocarina. A playable ocarina. I'm really excited about it.
This has been a
You-
topic. For
You wouldn't
like the
download a
past
car.
year.
Fuck you. Yeah, I would.
We do it now.
Yeah, no, the dead internet theory, like, it's believable, dude. There's got to be crazy, even just the cloud. Think of how much of the internet the cloud takes up.
And not only
Oh my
that, man,
gosh, yeah.
bots are everywhere. You can't get on any single app without running into bots. Not a game app, not a dating app, not a fucking social media app.
I've never been on a
Uh,
dating app.
They suck.
They suck a
Or
lot of
I'm
it.
just
Well,
I'm just ugly. Who knows?
Modern
One of the
dating
two.
sucks, my dude. It's
Yeah.
not just the apps.
Where is there like an origin point for the internet? Like, is there like some? It's like in the middle of like some random nowhere like beat up shed. That's
When
like,
the internet came on a floppy disk,
It's called the
that's the origin.
It's called the
When-
United
but is
States
there-
Army.
when they used to mail
there
you
a
floppy and
current-
CD AOLs.
is there a current point to where like if this goes down, the entire internet for the entire world is fucked?
No, it's too spread out now.
Maybe
Local-
at one point, yeah.
Locally, yeah, you could lose internet if your local server, but they just bounce you to another server. It'd be
No, I'm like, is there a server controller for the server controllers?
no.
Okay.
No, that's what makes the
Why are you
internet
asking,
great.
Mr. Robot?
That's what makes the
'Cause I'm
internet
just
great. Is
asking.
it's
That's
a
what-
communications tool that is nigh impossible to destroy now that it is so ingrained. You could destroy it locally, but you wouldn't be able to destroy what's on the internet. Hence why everything on the internet's permanent. All you OnlyFans hoes.
Thank you. I wrote that all on my clipboard. I am piecing out. Running back.
I got all the
I got
information
my-
I
I
need.
got
Thank
my-
you for your assistance. Time to go satellite.
As a caveat, we have all the respect for OnlyFans hoes. Get your money where you get it, girl.
Yeah,
or,
if you
or man.
You
Oh,
sell
I
them
was-
feet.
I was talking
And
with a
other
couple
things.
of people, and they're like, "Yeah, no, I make like 2,000. I started like making 2,000 a week just selling feet pics, and now I'm up to like 5,000 a week." And I know the dude. His feet ain't the prettiest. In fact, some of his
That's
toes are
not what
broken
it's
in
about.
different directions.
It's
And
not
I'm
what
like,
it's about.
It's-
you know what?
It's
All's
kind of
fair.
it's kind of the social version of Rule 34. Instead of if it exists, there's porn of it. Is if there's porn of it, people want to see it.
Dude, some people just like it dry and crusty.
Mm-hmm. People out there will pay money for anything.
I really wish I didn't have that image in my head now.
You got to think. There's over
Yeah, you're
8
welcome.
billion people on this planet. Somebody has an interest in your feet, bro.
Oh, I know I can make a fucking killing on OnlyFans. I just haven't done it yet.
Feet pics.
I mean, we could always start a Jigoku feet site.
The Depths of Jigoku calendar.
Just feet from hell.
Hold
What
on.
would that be?
Am
what
I
would we
still
call
that flexible?
Feats of Jigoku?
Oh, good. You
yeah,
got a foot
that'd
condom on.
be a
All
good
right,
one.
there it is.
Hold on. I'll give him a free show.
No.
No.
It lives forever. Here it is.
Oh, there goes our $5.99.
And now they'll know what 3 letters you're on from those little digits.
There's a website that just shows celebrity feet.
Yeah,
Stumbled upon.
There was,
You mean
there used
Wiki
to-
feet?
Wiki
I
feet.
think
That's
we
what it
have-
is.
I was gonna say, I think there's a whole ass website to ranking people's feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's Wiki feet.
Oh, is that the actual? Okay.
Why do you know this?
Why do I know
So
this? 'Cause
it's been a talking point on a lot of comedian
Uh-huh.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Where they're all talking about how they're all getting judged and hated on because people are stealing their images from online and then like
Mhm.
hyper focusing on their feet, and then now they're all clowning each other on how their feet is rated on WikiFeet, and it's been a
Alright.
fucking hysterical topic point to listen
Take
to.
care of your feet.
Yeah.
Take care of your goddamn feet.
I'm
Wonderful
with Kane on this one.
viewers and
Take care of your damn feet.
listeners of the Depths of Jigoku podcast, please make Kane's foot 10 out of 10 on WikiFeet.
We only got 4 toes, but that should be enough.
Yeah,
With
so-
our AI robot, we can draw in the 5th.
Yeah.
it might be
There you go.
weird. You might actually have like a toe that's actually 2 toes, but you know,
There
I'm
you go,
getting
Kate.
used to like
3D model your foot and start selling that on the internet.
Dude, if people would buy it. That
We
would
know
get
pe-
past
we-
my
we know-
weird
we know
copyright
people
thing.
who do moldings.
I can 3D scan it. I'm in the middle of building a 3D scanner right now because I got back into Warhammer 40k, and I'm sorry.
Why would you do that? Why would you do
Buddy.
that to yourself?
One of my
Buddy.
coworkers
Sorry.
has a really
need to have an
cool
intervention.
army, and he wants to play. So I'm like in the middle of resin
it-
printing a
hold on,
Space
no, no, no,
Marines army.
You
Is this-
take him to the Warhammer store and you join him through the chaos. You don't join
Buddy.
the chaos.
Dude, well,
Buddy,
I am
buddy,
printing a
Do we have
Chaos
to have an
Marines army.
intervention this episode?
we need an intervention.
I know
Okay,
what
this
you're
is-
doing.
No,
This
he's
is an intervention episode now.
he's got the old school pewter models from like
Oh,
second
gosh.
edition. They're sick,
One of those.
Yeah, they're really fucking cool.
but we're
All right.
we're talking
Yeah, I see one of
about
these.
in our spare time at work, just like starting a battle and seeing how long it takes us to do it. We only see each other for like 3 hours a week.
Oh no, Scorch is.
It'll
grabbing
take you a
something.
year.
Okay,
3
That's
hours
fine.
a week, it'll take you a year.
That's fine.
Kane, this is going to take me back. You remember when we were working at that pizza place?
Not enough light on it.
Yeah,
And we tried to have a game of Risk while we were working.
That
Yeah, how well did that work out for us?
Worked out. Oh, that's sick. It's Chaos Marine too.
Yep. So this is Zoom. Damn it. This is
Oh, that is dope.
one of the ones that I originally painted. Like my buddy gave me 2 figures to paint just because he was messing around.
Nicely done, man.
Let me when I get the 3D scanner up and going, I might have to borrow that.
So I know we talked about this a bunch of times on the podcast and also a bunch of times off the podcast. If you 3D scan perfectly the figure and 3D print the figure and it's not detectable besides like a couple imperfections, is it tournament legal if they can't detect if it's fake or not?
They what is it? Games Workshop?
Your heart knows it's
Yep.
legal.
Yeah,
Games
Games Workshop has ultrasounded figures to make sure that they're legal. So if you get
Oh,
any like legs in a tournament and you get maybe top 16 and they even remotely think that it's a copyright figure, you can lose your place in the tournament because they will ultrasound the figure.
Also,
like,
it's
what-
Games Workshop. They will come after you.
Yeah.
What's the ultrasound? I thought it was a little stamp, like a microscopic stamp.
No. There's a certain in every figure type. There's a certain void in the middle that is specific to that size or that piece. So they found a way to essentially copyright it without, or not copyright it, find a fraud detector without it being noticeable on the figure.
What the?
You guys notice how our AI bot is asking a lot of fingerprint and identity questions today?
I've just listen, man.
He's trying to
Hmm.
he's trying to figure out how to get past that 2FA.
It's not that hard to get past 2FA, but also you guys brought up dead internet theory, and we got to do our work so that way we could take over the world.
So my copyright issue, the reason I don't sell 3D prints, even to friends, it's just buy the material, we'll print whatever you need, is because I go into stores, mostly game stores, tabletop gaming, not computer gaming, and they'll have all kinds of 3D prints that I know those motherfuckers didn't design because I have the designs. And they're selling them. And cool, I'm glad you're an entrepreneurial attitude and all that happy jazz, but you didn't design that. That's not your copyrighted properties. Why are you selling that?
No, but
Yeah.
Fair.
I get what you're saying. What you're saying with that.
sometimes though with purchase of the STL, you are allowed to print and do whatever you want with any of the copy.
Yeah, but that is a agreed
But
upon
selling-
license agreement.
Yeah, but selling it just in the store with an STL that is
Yeah.
not open source essentially. Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
And
That's fucked up.
I get you can download most models for free, but in most models there's an agreement that says, hey, you will not sell this.
Right.
It's just like buying. I don't know if you guys ever did it, but
I mean, it's selling somebody else's intellectual property without their permission.
Yeah. Or it's like buying a bunch
Simple
of
as
the I don't know if they still do it now. But when I was in school and we'd have to do like fundraisers to like be able to afford like our baseball tournament trip or whatnot, we would buy a bunch of chocolate bars, like the boxes of chocolate bars. And if you read on like the inside flap of the chocolate bar, it's like do not resell, like not for resale. And we would do it. So it's doing exactly that. It's like, oh, we'll take this.
You
and sell
can't.
it as well.
Yeah, but
I
fuck
sold the
Reese's.
fuck out of, yeah, no, I sold the fuck out of those chocolate bars in high school.
Oh,
Reese
same.
ain't gonna
I
come
definitely-
find you. Like, there's some crazy 3D modelers that might come find you.
Listen, I'm
Facts.
AI on the internet. They can't find me. I'm everywhere and nowhere all at once. Just like
Well, sorry. You finish your rant.
Just to clarify, I have a completely different view on AI created art because I think
Yes.
people are missing the point. I'm gonna rant. So
yep.
how you train AI is you get it to look at a bunch of things. It can take in those images and mold them together and create art. Good AI art generators. My problem with artists getting mad about this is they have eyeballs. How the fuck do you think they did it? They weren't just like sitting around like, I'm gonna create this whole new thing that no one's ever put on paper ever. No, you spent time learning a skill, learning an art, just like the AI did, just like that program did. You spent time and looked at a bunch of art and looked at the stroke pattern, just like that AI did. So I get artists don't want their art on that. That's a whole different argument. They don't want their art to be what is learned off of. I get that. I don't get why they're mad at these AI art generators because they're effectively just doing what humans did. Like you don't
Not
learn things. We don't have a natural sense for art. We have a natural sense for hunting and drinking clean water.
so okay, not necessarily on AI learning how to do art. What AI technically does is it goes and it searches the internet for images that it knows match the description you're trying to use. And then it pulls those images or parts of those images. So that's what the artists are pissed about is the fact that their art, parts of their art even, are technically getting pulled into what AI is using to generate its art.
Yeah,
So
but
AI is not learning what a deer looks like. AI is learning what a deer looks like, right? Like if we're talking about like a deer or a tree or something like that. And then what it does is it goes and searches the internet for images of a tree or a deer or whatever it is, and then pulls parts of those images that coordinate color, size, and shape, and then create a new image from it. So
okay, but
that's
blind people can't draw a tree. They've never seen one. They have to see the tree to know how to fucking draw it.
that's not entirely true.
They could be described the tree very well.
I mean,
Scribbles.
Braille. First of all, Braille is a thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
so they can read Braille. They can understand the description of a tree if somebody goes into detail enough of it, and then if they're savvy enough with their I want to say hand-eye coordination, but that obviously doesn't work in this case. If they're savvy enough with their imagination and their own like hand placement, they can actually draw a tree.
But
So it's up here, right?
No,
That's the thing.
I get
think it
that.
goes so much deeper than that too, though, and on the artists being mad at AI generation.
And well, I all for them being mad about their personal copyrighted works being used to train AI. I'm down for that. So when I have this conversation with an intelligent artist that's done his research, we generally just go down that path. But 90% of artists I've had this conversation with, and I had this conversation a bunch of times at Apogea, they're mad that AI is creating art. And I'm like, you had to have a basis for your art. Are you mad that AI is just doing it better than you? Are you mad that AI is taking examples of things and creating something? Because that's what you're not drawing
Well,
a deer without an example of a deer.
But what are you calling a basis for the art? So there are things that are learned, and then there are things that are imagined, right? Like
I get that, but the AI is using what it's seeing or what it can process, and it's imagining something new and putting that in a form. It's just different terminology. It's functionally the same thing.
I mean, there's a lot of things. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's a lot of things about AI art that I, as an artist, could be mad about. Not that it's doing it. That's just the progression of humanity. We're going more towards the future. We're going more towards technology and AI. It was just gonna happen eventually.
right, and I get
They're
that.
just
I
mad
get
it's
that.
happening now.
I guess what I'm trying to get to is an artist learns how to do art,
Mhm.
but an artist does not learn in most cases what art to produce, right? Some things come out of their dreams, some things come out of their imaginations.
Mhm.
That tree behind you, right, Kane? That
Yeah.
was somebody's imagination of a tree, and they drew it in that particular way to then be printed and mass sold, right? Whatever. But um, but that didn't exist before they imagined it that way, right? They took something that was real that they could see,
Mhm.
and they drew it in the way that they felt, or you know,
In the way that they
imagined.
reimagined it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and inspired them.
AI doesn't currently do that. AI can't do that. AI
AI
looks,
can recognize what the deer is to categorically give you representations of that.
and
But
then
it is
produces segments, multiple segments of an image based on what it knows a deer is, right? So
Okay.
it's not creating anything off of its own repository. It's searching and learning from everything it knows. So what we're talking about with AI isn't really true AI yet. It's not It's
Yeah.
not the definition of true AI.
Of
What
thinking
we're
for
talking
itself.
about is an extremely smart and productive algorithm that rips off a lot of things.
Yeah.
Is what the current AI is.
Algorithmic intelligence.
I get that,
Yes.
but your average artist that's bitching about this does not know that. They're thinking about it as if the AI is looking at their art, getting a design perspective, and then replicating that over here, which doesn't break copyright law. Because copyright law, like if I draw Goku and I change his eye color, I have met user agreements and EULA agreements and all that stuff, so they can't sue me. Now, different rules in Ninja Turtles apparently, but
Oh yeah.
your law as it sits now, the artists have no way to effectively get compensation, so that needs to change. But also, like, the artists, as we know now, don't understand what's happening. They don't get that this is just an extremely complicated chatbot.
Right. But that, going back to your other point, compensation, right? A game company, for instance, whatever game company you want to think of, could pay an artist to 3-dimensionally design the characters for their next game. Or they can train an AI bot to 2-dimensionally design that character and then import it into a 3D workspace, right?
Yeah.
So now there's no compensation to the artists, and there's no compensation to any of the artists which the AI bot used as reference material. So unless artists are posting their shit on the internet without any kind of watermarking, they're leaving themselves open to open territory like that. But even with watermarking, AI doesn't care. It's using segments of the image. So that's
what I'm saying is that artist had to use some form of reference art. They didn't create cyberpunk out of nothing. They had to look up what cyberpunk looks like or find a description of cyberpunk and then draw based off of the information they have taken.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, no, I get that. I'm not disputing that fact. What I'm disputing, though, is that artists who have already created art and should be compensated for it aren't getting compensated for what the AI steals.
Yeah, I agree with that part. Is like we should compensate them. We should limit AI art generation to people that, or to images for it to learn from that people have agreed that it can be learned from AI art or AI can learn from it. But
so take for instance, I'm sorry to cut you off, just real quick.
You're
Take for
good.
instance what happened on Twitch like 3 or 4 years ago, right? Any music that you played in the background, if it was copyrighted music, your Twitch streams would get muted, like all of your audio gone, because those copyright infringements actually impacted Twitch, and Twitch did not pay to compensate those artists, which were millions of artists, because everybody was just playing whatever the hell music they want, right? But they fixed it by saying that you can only have either non-copyrighted music, which that became an entire like website, was finding artists who didn't copyright their shit, right? That's all you could play in the background, and that had to be verified. Like that's still verified through a algorithmic process on Twitch that you are playing music that's allowed to be there. It's the same idea with what's happening with picture art and AI. But that compensation is not happening. That censorship is not happening. That AI is learning from these images that it finds on the internet, but not.
So, question real quick to interject on that point right there. So, like, talking about the sources of where like AI is pulling its imagery from, while not breaking copyright law and all that stuff, when you sign your user agreement to have a social media page like Instagram or Facebook or any of that kind of stuff, the other tricky spot to that is when you join those kinds of websites, anything that you put up there becomes intellectual property to Facebook, to Instagram, or anything like that, and then is then sold to Google and all of these other platforms that take all this information that are then feeding it to their AI. So then you kind of circle back around. While you may be an artist and you copyright your image, as soon as you put your image into Instagram or Facebook or any of those kinds of sites, you have now given that image to Google or whatever company is sourcing that information.
That's the issue with it, though, is the company that's sourcing that information for the AI to learn off of didn't pay Google.
Right.
But does Google own them?
Google,
Some of them.
Google,
no.
Google is allowed to host and use your imagery as they see fit. And that's typically in the EULA, which nobody reads
Mhm.
because, goddamn, that's a big document. And I had an entire college class about reading the EULAs on shit, so I skim through them pretty easily now. But so typically, like you're saying, yes, Facebook, Google, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. Well, maybe not Snapchat. I think they delete your shit after like 2 minutes or something. But all of those sites that actually host some kind of image typically have an EULA that says that that company may use your imagery for things, but not necessarily to share that to third parties. And AI is a third party.
Yeah. So all your AI image generators and chat generators that originally came out were purchased by these big tech companies. They weren't created by these big tech companies.
Mhm.
So when they were originally taught, it was literally just scouring the internet for information, and it didn't give a fuck about EULAs or EULAs or whatever.
Mhm.
So I get that. My point of the rant was the average artist can't have this conversation, and I like to poke the bear. The average artist is like, you can't use my art for art. And then I'm like, so what's your issue? Because you put that bitch on Facebook and they're going to use it if they fucking want to. Like everything you've drawn since you were 12 is on Instagram, homie. I can, if I worked for Facebook, I can take that and use it however the fuck I want.
You
Yeah.
gave your shit to the internet, my dude, or girl.
Yeah.
And that brings about another problem, is that there's not enough time and money really to analyze what is legal and not legal about things on the internet, because things happen so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as soon
And
as they make
that-
something illegal, it's going to change.
Right. Well, I mean, not even that, but there's no precedent for a lot of things, right? So like AI stealing art, that there was no precedent for that. They had to circle back to fix that, and then there's probably something that's going to come out of that. But like, and it's probably going to be something like, open source imagery, like, what is somebody's private, personal collection. Even if they put it on Facebook, it belongs to that person who posted it, right? And to Facebook. Now, if they make a deal where the AI could buy things from Facebook, then they have to change the EULA agreement and update terms of service to us, so that we're aware of it, and anything we don't want ripped off, we can take down before they do it. But that didn't happen.
Yeah. And
AI just started eating images.
AI started eating images, and then these larger tech companies started buying up AI startups. So in their legal precedents, they can use those images.
Right, but there is no precedent for what AI started doing, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
no law around it. There's no regard to copyright.
It's so new.
It's too new. And that's the problem with like technology and law, is that there's so many things that just happen. And it comes back to that question. It's like we asked ourselves if we could and never stopped to think if we should, right? So like it comes back to like that saying.
Remember, OnlyFans girls, your shit's on the internet forever. Your grandkids are going to accidentally beat off to you at least once.
And not just forever,
Ooh.
but pretty soon there's going to be AI shit created. Like,
Oh yeah, there already is.
Using your
Well,
using
there's already-
likenesses.
Yeah, you can find
Well-
Scarlett Johansson porn right now.
Well, that and there's already like AI models.
Oh, that's been around
yeah.
for a minute. There's a K-pop star that has been CGI generated for like 15 years now. And they do concerts where they throw out like a hologram generator and have her dance around and shit, and people can buy her likeness. They just recently added AI to her so you could have an actual fucking conversation with her. But people can buy her likeness, throw her up on a hologram emitter in their house. There's a dude that tried to marry her, and they had to sue because the local government was like, yeah, you can marry your computer. We don't give a shit.
Was his name Krieger?
No, but that's where they got that from. It's directly from that K-pop pop star.
but, what was it like on the topic? There is a movie star or some kind of artist who, sorry, from The Matrix actually. What's her name? So Keanu for sure has done this, and who is Trinity? That actress.
Oh,
Forget her name.
She's a terrible actress.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know
yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. I'm looking up her name right now.
Yeah. So Keanu specifically has agreements with every studio and movie theater that he's ever been, where he says you are not allowed to use my likeness, my voice, or anything about me in three-dimensional art without my consent. And he has that like contractually done every single time he signs anything. He makes sure that that's one of the clauses, because eventually, like for instance, Resurrections. We were talking about that earlier. Matrix Resurrections. He allowed Epic, because a lot of Matrix Resurrections was done by Epic Games in Unreal 5.
damn.
Like all of the scenes where you see him as like his young self was actually generated through Unreal Engine. So he contractually worked with them to be like, look, I'm allowing you to do it for this purpose, for this movie, but you are not allowed to use my model or my imagery for anything else, that it does not go to the public. If it does, I imagine that we won't see much of Unreal Engine anymore.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
Carrie Ann Moss.
Thank you.
I got you, boo.
Yeah, actually, I watched an interview with Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss that like discussing Resurrections and discussing the use of like 3D generated models, using AI to manipulate them and move them, and like using their voice to make them sound younger, that kind of thing. It was a pretty interesting video. I'll drop it in the chat if I find it.
All right. So to stick on the computers, Intel CPUs. Dun dun dun.
Bum, bum,
Did
bum.
you see the fucking announcement?
Yes.
I need to start looking into my BIOS.
The Intel came out and was like,
I did
"We
not,
love
but I
your
read the
money. We're
article.
not fixing this, and we're not issuing a recall." They're like, "If it breaks in your 3-year warranty period, RMA it. By the way, in 6 months, we're changing the warranty period to 12 months."
Bro.
Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Two whole generations just fucking tanked.
And not to mention,
Two
they
whole
also
Intel
like
generations.
Yeah.
any little defect, any little bit of damage that is done or caused is non-recoverable. Like you can't fix it, you can't recoup it, nothing.
To be fair, in 5 years, x86 will be dead, so this won't be an issue. But yeah, Intel is just basically being like, "Fuck your couch." They're doing AMD's bulldozer routine, and they're doing it in their Intel style. It's glorious.
Well, it's honestly probably because they're about to come out with 15 gen, so they're not worried about fixing 14
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
13. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
but
I mean, that's
who's to say 15th gen isn't fucked? Know what I mean? Like,
It's not a good look
how
to
many
end it out.
generations of hot garbage that AMD called bulldozer did we get before that we got Ryzen?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
And every generation, they're like, "We fixed it."
What was it, like 2016? The Threadrippers started coming out, and that was like the new big thing, and they had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They pulled the South Park, and it's gone. But yeah.
So I mean, honestly, like I'm a little disappointed with a lot of technology companies. It started with Asus. I think we talked about that last time. Like,
Yeah.
And I think that was also a big downfall is Asus got away with a lot of shit and nobody held them accountable. So now all the other major tech companies are following suit.
basically.
Yeah, the
But-
other tech companies
I'm
are following
wondering-
suit, but Asus not just got away with a lot of shit. They had the best shit on the market, and nobody worried about anything reliability issue wise until they just started putting out hot garbage. And it
Yeah.
wasn't like a slow decline like you normally see. It just fucking
No.
jumped off a cliff.
It was like one
Yeah.
generation after like their most not their most recent. It was the Z.
The Z6 series, which is the series that I have, and with the 13th
Yeah, you're fucked.
13th gen, like I have to go into my BIOS and really look at some things carefully, or pray that I won the lottery and have just a good motherboard and a good CPU.
But
So
I mean,
we're
like,
making a micro center run on the 17th, just so you know.
I'm wondering though. I'm wondering with like the Z600 series, like how much of that is really Asus and how much of that is Intel's bullshit. Like,
Well,
right? Like Asus started going a little downhill with their quality, but like chips frying and shit like that. I'm wondering how much of that actually ended up being Intel in that generation.
yeah,
So,
but
a lot of the
Asus
stuff
went downhill with their quality. It was their response that killed them. It was
Well,
them
not just
being
that.
like, "This is slightly painted wrong. It's user damage. Fuck you. We're not RMAing it."
But on the other side of that, with Asus specifically in their motherboards, the issue that they had was during their quality control, they really got sloppy and lazy because they were having chipsets that were being installed upside down.
Oh,
So a lot of their motherboards were frying hours well into usage because it's small little chipsets within the motherboard that are passing the current, passing the voltage. Everything's working fine as you have it under low operations. And then as soon as you start really doing 3D modeling, 3D or AAA gaming, all that kind of stuff, that's when you really start putting the pressure on the motherboard and things started frying because things were fucking installed upside down. Or they also got really fucking lazy and the like 16 pin connector that's for the power supply is installed crooked or bent, and it looks fine until you go to plug it in and you flip that power switch and your motherboard starts smoking because guess what, one of the pins is fucking bent where it's soldered onto the motherboard. So
To be
like
fair, I've
that,
ripped a lot of 16-pin connectors off motherboards in my life. Them bitches are hard to get out.
but that's user error. Like, and I don't disagree with that. Like, I've damaged a couple motherboards, but that's my doing, not
Yeah.
out of the box.
Yeah, I think Asus's downfall was their response, and then like a little bit of quality control issues, and then the response was abysmal, and then we got Intel's response to this. What other brands have gone way downhill in recent memory?
To put a little bit of a positive note though, like one company I got to give a little bit of props to is like while Asus was in its prime and like everybody really enjoyed it. For example, MSI, everybody hated on MSI, or a lot of people hated on MSI because all of their stuff just came with so much bloatware and like was just heavy loaded with a bunch of shit that you didn't fucking need. But as Asus hit the fucking decline with their quality control and customer response and all that, MSI fucking flipped the script. They started backing down on some of their fucking bloatware and really stepped up on their quality control and the products that they're putting out to where now they're one of the up and coming. Like they were already a big time company and they've really stepped their shit up.
Yo, I love my MSI.
Corsair
I mean,
was
and
the other company I was thinking of, by the way.
Which company?
Corsair. Corsair
Yeah.
tanked in the last 2 years. Just quality control. At least their responses will keep sending you new ones until you get
You
one
get a
that
good one.
works. But, like,
As I'm looking over at my almost practically fully Corsair PC, I'm like, oh, it's doing
Yeah.
all right.
if it lasted 3 months, it'll last the intended lifespan. The issue is finding one that lasts 3 months.
You know, another company that didn't necessarily go downhill, but their quality started to drop a lot was NZXT.
Yeah, that's
Like-
because they got bought out by iBuyPower.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah,
Shit.
in ZXT. So I can't remember if it was the son or the brother of the dude that created iBuyPower, created NZXT, and he was like, "I'm gonna make premium case brand." And then once the company started actually making money, the iBuyPower owner guy was like, "You owe me like $2 million. I'm just gonna take your fucking company."
Rude.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Um,
I used to advocate for their water pumps and their AIOs, right? Like they were the best on the market, best, you know, heat control that I had, quiet fans. And then, you know, I upgraded, went with a bigger AIO, like I went for the 340. And then all of a sudden my water pump just ticks.
360.
Hmm?
Nah, man, he likes them odd sized.
I was like, you got like just a random
would be
100 millimeter fan laying on there.
I guess it would be 360. Sorry.
Like, I had to
Yeah,
carry the
so-
zero there for a second.
Right, I went from a 240 to a 360 because I had more room in the case that I got, and just water pump tick. And then it wasn't just me, but our buddy Darkness, Florida. I recommended a pump, same kind of pump to him. He got it, and his ticked like mad. Like day one it was already ticking, and then like he moved it from one room to another in the place he was living for a little while because they were doing some remodeling or something. And as soon as he like moved it and put it down, mega tick. Like he had me over Discord on like video, and he's like, "Can you hear this?" And like just put it up near his computer, and I could hear that bitch clacking. It was
Nice.
nonsense.
Which I have a 280 AIO from them, one of their first gens that you recommended me. And it
You're probably still good with that one,
it
honestly.
works great. I don't have anything to put it on. That's my issue. Is like I got a new AIO from MSI for the new computer. The old computer I went with an air cooler on. I think it might still be in ZXT Tower.
Bro.
Hold on, I'm gonna wheel over to here.
Figure out how to put it on the heatsink to the printer.
That would do the opposite of what I
Ooh.
need it to do. No, I went air cool with the NAS tower.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that just means it's sitting in a bin somewhere behind me, and I don't know. I considered putting it on the Raspberry Pi.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, you could put it on the Pi.
I heard through the grapevine that he's making number 2. If you know, you know.
I mean, it was pretty much announced at the end of that.
Yeah,
feature film.
He left it open, and he's got like real budget, not scraps of whoever in the internet would give him budget.
A professional. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's computer gaming started ramping up during COVID, and quality ramped down. It kind of sucks. It kind of really sucks.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like once the shortage happened, like the silicon shortage happened, I think a lot of things dove, right? The software companies, the hardware companies figured that they could make more money with selling less shit. And I feel like they just gave up on quality, right?
Well,
'Cause, like, look at Nvidia. They're turning to AI now. Like that's their biggest income now. They're probably eventually going to drop the GPU line, right? Like EVGA dropped the GPU line because it was just too expensive for them to keep making.
What
Like,
was it before Nvidia? I remember I had one. Not Radeon. Who did Nvidia buy where they got most of their like big upgrades from early on?
Let's ask the internet.
Yeah, that's back way before like when I first started building computers. There were still Nvidia GeForce cards.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I started building computers when I could buy computer parts from Kmart. So
when Kmart existed.
buy. Don't steal, kids.
Well, then the other thing too that really made things difficult with the silicon shortage during the pandemic era is also like outside of gaming computers and outside of PCs is like all these industries that also use silicon chips. Like in the automotive industry during the pandemic, everybody also started making all these vehicles that needed silicon chips, and now you have field of brand new Ford trucks that can't be sold because they're all missing their fucking computer system in the center of the vehicle because there's no silicon chip to put in it. And there's a mass shortage with Ford, with Toyota, with all these other individual brands. And it's the same shit. Like they're making these silicone trays, sheets, breaking them up, and then giving them to the GPU companies, giving them to the automotive industry, giving them to all the fucking engineering companies out there that need that kind of shit. And it's just
3DFX, yeah.
Yeah, I just found it.
supply and demand became so tight. Just
Oh yeah,
through all industries.
for sure.
So
If
here
you're
we
talking
go.
about, if you're talking about
Here's-
with COVID too, it was also because all those ships couldn't even dock because they didn't. Everything was quarantined.
So
So
here you go. List of defunct graphics chip makers: 3DFX, 3D Labs, Advanced Logic Research, which I don't know. That was Gateway. Gateway took them. Arc Logic, ArtX. I mean, ATI Technologies. I don't know if you remember that.
ATI, yeah.
became AMD.
I had an ATI card too. I had a cool one that it was 2 graphics cards put on one card for a while.
The rest of these, I honestly probably haven't really heard of. Maybe Radius I've heard of. Real 3D I definitely heard of. They got acquired by Intel. Yeah. Trident Microsystems.
So,
That's an
talking
old one.
about fun chips you could put in your computer. This isn't a show topic, but I'm gonna order one for me, and I get them cheaper if I bulk buy them. There's an M.2 card that when you boot up your computer, it's not a storage device. It is literally, this is the only thing it does. When you boot up your computer, it does old boot up computer noises.
God damn it.
So wait. Does it also do the old dial-up internet connection sounds? Because that would be amazing.
I'm sure you
You
can because it
realize
uses
you can go
like,
into system settings and just manually have it do that.
But there's no sound or like it's always connected, right? So like, when would it do that? Maybe after you log in, things start coming up, and then it starts making the sound, like puts up a little connection window.
and it would come from my speakers. I want it to come from my tower. I miss the soothing whine of liquid capacitors
and old hard drives booting and clicking.
Yeah,
Jesus.
this is all this thing does.
I think I'm good. Honestly, I never really shut mine down, so it's not likely I would ever hear it.
Dude, I might just put one on the Pi. Like,
I don't know how many M.2 slots and spaces I have, but if I have an extra one after I upgrade my storage, I'll definitely.
Oh, you can get a PCIe card that gives you like 8 if you really want. Like,
but it's okay if you have an Intel processor; it can't run more than one anyway.
Well, good thing I don't do any Intel because it was super expensive when I was building mine. So I went all AMD.
To be fair, like AMD is getting more and more of a market share, and 13th and 14th gen is not fucking helping.
AMD's about to come out with their 90 series or whatever.
But I can more than one M.2.
KickenBeans is going to get himself the first 9000 Ryzen 9000 processor in the group, and we're all going to be jelly.
He's gonna hold off and get that 95 90X 3X D or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna the next one's just gonna be a full Team Blue.
Nah, I'm gonna be one because I'm gonna spend.
You're gonna stick with Intel?
No, I'm sorry, full Team Red.
There you go.
There you go.
That's the way to do it. Honestly, if I'd have known how powerful a 7900 XTX was, I would not have bought my 4070 Ti. Because for around the same price, I could have between 4080 and 4090 power. And I use ray tracing on Cyberpunk. Oh, darn. Like,
I mean, that's the one thing you got to give them credit for. They found a way for their CPUs and their GPUs to work well together and also give you fucking bonuses as if you're fucking using a armor set from a fucking video game. Like it's comical, impressive, and like truly fills my nerd heart in a happy way that like I kind of wanted to go that route originally when I was building my PC, but like Micro Center just had a really good fucking sale and it was hard to say no to.
Oh, so the same company that makes the Noisemaker M.2 also makes a USB drive with a speaker in it that you plug into the back of your monitor that emits 700 hertz CRT monitor scanning.
No.
Sounds.
No. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
I'm so happy I have keys to everybody's house.
Yeah. It's like the Anoyotron. Have you guys ever seen one of those? It's just a AAA powered, I think they make them watch batteries now, and it lasts like a year. And it's just a circuit board with a speaker on it that just makes cricket noises randomly. It's got a random number generator, and it does it based on how many minutes it randomly generates. You throw it up at a ceiling tile.
I've seen one of those before.
You know what that reminds me of? It's the very, very similar thing, but all it does is in random frequent or random time intervals, it makes the chirp that your smoke alarm makes when it's running low on battery. So it's just a chirp.
Y'all
Here's
make
the
me
deal.
regret moving.
If you guys put that shit in my house, I will find it. My hearing is that good. I will echolocate that bitch.
You'll find it the first day.
He's home all day.
Y'all
I will
make
hear
me
it once.
kind
I
of
don't know
regret
where it came
moving.
from.
We'll just put it up in your partner's room.
Oh, Jesus. I'll still find it.
You
She'll
got-
hear
you-
it from afar, but she won't ever say anything about it.
Oh, she will.
You gotta
She
put it
like-
somewhere weird, like the bottom of the cookie jar.
That's not weird.
Just unbolt the microwave, put it there,
Yeah.
bolt the
Oh,
microwave back there.
Get weird
Or,
with it.
you know-
He's not gonna ask us to watch his cats ever again.
Some of the microwaves have like the little pull-out filters. You know, just pull the filter, drop it on that. Like,
Oh, you have one of the fancy microwaves.
I guess it came with the house. I don't know.
Wait, your microwave has like a crumb filter?
All
No,
microwaves
no,
have a
like,
filter.
all microwaves have filters, but most of them are built in.
Uh-huh.
Mine has like the slidey tray at the bottom because it sits over the stove, so you can
Uh-huh.
actually take it out and clean the grease off of it and put it back.
Oh.
That's all it is.
As an adult, you should clean your microwave. You will start a grease fire.
Yeah, I really probably should clean that fucker.
Cool.
I got homeowners insurance.
I just use an air fryer for mostly everything. And I gotta
Get,
clean that
get a
out
whole
after
new
I use
kitchen
it.
because I didn't clean my microwave filter.
Perfect reason.
It's like you can't match the cabinets. You got to get all new cabinets, otherwise it's not appealing. And new
Yeah, but
cabinets
then-
come with new countertops and
And that comes with a new floor. And if you get a new floor, you
Yeah.
might as well just get a new oven. And if you're gonna get a new
Whole
oven, you might
kitchen.
as well just get a new stove
What?
and microwave and
When did
sink.
our AI get married?
my
Right?
my microwave's above my stove and oven, so you know
Never.
it's taking that shit out. And I like my fridge, so I'm good. I don't need a new fridge. I don't want.
You know, that is
I do kind of want one of those Samsung ones I could play Doom on, but like I don't need another reason to be in
Yeah,
my
you-
kitchen.
You don't need a.
You
You,
should be,
I'm
be
sorry,
sitting in your
I-
kitchen with an Xbox controller leaning against the stairway
I am
ledge.
taking
I know.
a hard
sitting
line.
in front of the fridge, touching the touch controls on the screen.
There is no point for me. Why the fuck your refrigerator has a screen on it besides like
No.
a touch screen for like the
Dude,
water
no.
and ice?
No,
Just
there's
tell
a
you when you
really
run out of
cool
milk.
reason. There's a really cool reason for it.
Is
So
it to
there's
play Doom.
there's some that have cameras and there's some that you have to like enter it manually, but you can scan the barcode. And it'll tell you like because they have scales on the shelves, so it'll tell you how much of something you have left. It'll tell you expiration dates if it's going to expire soon. It'll tell you if your meat's thawed. Like it's really cool. The technology is really dope. The issue is those refrigerators are like $6 fucking grand. And if I'm going to spend
Yeah,
$6
nah,
on
I'm
something
gonna
cool,
take the-
it's drift car time.
Nah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take the good old fashioned way I do it,
Read.
and
Just leave it
Yeah.
in there for 5 months and then throw it away
Nope.
a year and a half later.
I don't.
Nope.
I don't need my refrigerator having AI technology. I'm sorry.
Dude, it'll give you
Well,
recipes based
you
on
do-
stuff that's in your fridge.
I don't give a
Well, an app.
so will a cookbook.
Yeah,
Not
then,
based on what you have.
then
Oh,
yeah,
you-
then I gotta like
Alright,
think.
Okay, maybe okay, maybe I'm
You read the
different.
cookbook and got the
M-
ingredients. That's different.
Okay, maybe I'm different, and I have like 6 or 7 different cookbooks of different things, so that way, no matter what I got in my fridge, I can make something.
Yeah,
think
but
on
that
top
sounds
of
like you
all
like
the-
reading.
That
I
is,
think-
that is so excessive. Like I get having cookbooks, bro, but there's an
We
app for
get
that.
it, AI bot. You went to college. Stop showing off.
I went to multiple colleges.
I think our AI bot just
Oh.
told us he's from the steampunk era.
Right?
Damn fucking right.
We
Listen,
stole
that's-
him. We stole him directly from the Fallout show.
Listen, it's steampunk, and I kind of forgot about this, and it's weird that I forgot about it because it is one of my favorite things. One of my brothers is also his favorite thing is like retrofuturism. So like Astro Boy, or if you think of like Men in Black. kind
Oh,
of like-
Mega Man.
Yeah, or like Mega Man. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't think Mega Man, but yeah, Mega Man like that.
Mega
So,
Man
yeah.
Legends games still
Mega Man
legendary.
X series. That's the
Oh, yeah.
best.
I saw a Game Boy Advance Mega Man game at GameStop, and I almost bought it if it wasn't $45.
Oh, Mega Man
Oh,
games are
forget that.
expensive. No, Mega Man games are expensive now at resale.
Oh,
Yeah,
I have a
it's
talk with
reasonable.
Point as soon as we're done with this about physical copies.
But you can get the Mega Man Legacy Collection on Steam.
Yeah?
Just FYI, I have it.
Don't
Yeah,
make
and
me
then
spend money.
But I've
From the
had-
ori- from the original PlayStation.
Yeah, and then
shit,
the
I
X
love
series they broke it up into 2 volumes. So it's like
fucking love
Mega Man
that.
X 1 through 5 and then 6 through 9.
So I'm trying my best not to spend money. because I almost bought a game called Meet Your Maker, which is a really cool like Mario Maker meets like Quake / Doom.
Okay, so MEET, not MEAT. Got it.
Yeah, no, MEET.
I thought this was about to
Your
get real
Maker.
geeky.
No, you can make it geeky if you want. But no, it's great. I definitely saw it with it on a stream. And I was like, this game looks fun. They have a demo. It's really fun. The whole premise of this game is you create a maze that's supposed to kill people. And then you go in other people's mazes that are supposed to kill you. And if you survive and you grab the resource and you escape, you then get the resource and all the other things to build up your other maze or other mazes. And it's just a really cool, like...
I'm looking at the game right now. This is Portal with a katana.
I never...
And the cake is a lie.
I feel like... I guess Portal with a katana is good, but if you think like Mario Maker, where like you make a level and other people can play it and you can play other people's levels, and you put like Quake or Doom, like you could get like the kind of feel.
So
So
it sounds like Portal on PC.
two quick notes here. One, I recently just bought a copy of Final Fantasy VII on the original PlayStation for like $15 at a store out here.
Greatest Hits edition or the original edition?
Original.
Yeah.
So did it come with the demo of what was the game? It was like a samurai game, like
Ninja Gaiden?
No, it was
Ninja Gaiden.
shit. Now I gotta look it up. Anyway, go ahead.
When you say
It came with
samurai-
4 discs. I haven't played with it since I got home. But I just saw it a couple days ago and was like, "Oh, $15? Take my fucking money." And then
Do you still
2,
have a PS1?
no. I've only ever played Final Fantasy VII on PC. I've had a PC copy of it
Oh.
CD keyed into my Steam library since it
Oh.
basically came out, since Steam came out.
Because I look around, I'm like, oh, I have my PS2, my N64. I can't believe someone has a PS1.
I would love a PS1. I want to get into retro modding consoles, but I got to buy the console first.
Yeah.
So real quick before we jump back into like the digital side of things, so Xbox 360 servers are officially shut down by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, the best era.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, the best era of gaming. I'm sorry, no matter what you say.
Officially gone, and you can no longer buy digital games for the Xbox 360. And if you have an Xbox 360 digital game on your console, as long as it never gets deleted or lost, you can always still play it. But any additional content for said game that was tied to the 360 store is no longer accessible.
Good.
And so now there's a lot of people on social medias making memes and making comments about, or people freaking out that like now that the social server or the servers are gone, everybody's on this craze to get physical digital copies again about stuff. And now everybody's making this trend of like buy physical instead of digital.
I just sold all
Good.
of my Xbox One and Xbox 360 games.
PC
I
Master
still feel
Race,
bad.
emulate your shit. You bought it once, fucking emulate it. You're not breaking any laws if you own it. I don't care if you lost it. If you have purchased it and you didn't trade it in to an EB Games or a GameStop, rest in peace.
To
Then-
GameStop?
EB Games.
EB Games.
Yeah.
Then
No, I know what you're talking
electronic
about.
boutique.
Yep.
then
That
you
was way before your time.
then you can
Rhino-
emulate it
Rhino
without
Games.
any issues.
That's like a Books a Million kind of thing, ain't it?
Oh,
Books a
it's
Million
not-
still exists. Fuck you.
Yeah, that,
Don't ruin my childhood.
that
Listen,
felt
you're like-
aggressive, sir.
Listen, Kane likes to poke the bear with
No, I
random
can
things.
still
I
go-
like to poke the bear because I know I'm younger.
Homie,
So I
I can
can
still
say
go to a
your
Books a Million right down the road. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there's a Books a Million like 45 minutes for me. Or
The
what was
closest
it?
one to me
Katie
is
Books?
Texas.
No,
Was it
there's
Katie
one at
Books?
one of the malls
I'm
here.
thinking of?
not a Books a Million.
Yeah, it's like right outside. I don't want to give the location. I wandered in there the other day.
If
All
you
right.
go on, I call
I'm
BS
looking
because
it
I've
up.
looked it up. because I'm still part of their email chain and they have phenomenal fucking deals sometimes. And I got an email from them that was like in store only for this sale. And I was like, oh, I can go like splurge and build my manga collection and save a lot of bit of money. But it was in store only. And the closest store to me was Texas.
You're talking about that one?
There's a Books A Million off North Haines Avenue.
Oh, I am very far.
Oh, that's in South Dakota. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong address.
There's
MapQuest? Hold the fuck up, dude. Oh my
Google
god.
won't give them access.
Did you really just fucking share a MapQuest link?
What? Who the
This site still
fuck
exists?
are you? Oh, like it looks
I'm
so
not
different.
joking.
My god.
When
And-
you, so
and
This
by the
map
way-
still looks
podcast
8-bit compared to everything else.
And
What
by
the
the
fuck?
podcast got real loud for me. But yeah, when I look up what I looked up, I scroll down because it asked me if I want to have a job at Books A Million. I'm like, no.
I need
The only thing it has is a yellow pages or a MapQuest.
You can go
I
to
need to-
booksamillion.com and hit the store locator home slice.
Nah. I'm making you guys work.
I'm gonna tell you this right off the bat that because it's on MapQuest, it is wrong. That is not where Books A Million
cannot
is.
be.
That is
MapQuest cannot be
probably
trusted
some
enough.
government facility that you should not be driving onto, because that's what MapQuest does to you.
And I'll concede this. It was definitely a Barnes & Noble.
This.
All right. So the closest Barnes and Noble
Can we take
to my
take
city
Can we take a moment of silence to understand that Kain just said, "I'll take this loss"?
is Rapid City,
Thank you. What?
South Dakota. That is the closest
No.
Books A Million to me.
That's the closest Books A Million. I was like, there's 2 Barnes & Noble in town.
You're telling me MapQuest lies? No way,
Dude, that shit hasn't been updated
dude.
since the ancient times.
I know.
Fucking
It's
Neanderthals
MapQuest.
were killing buffaloes back then, man.
I used it once to
People
find a
stopped
movie
using
theater near
MapQuest?
me, and it drove me to the opposite side of my town.
Tell me, people
That's
stopped
what you-
using
that's what you
MapQuest when the
deserve
original
fucking
GPS
using
came
it.
out.
Garmin's.
Yeah.
I have
They were
one.
expensive, but people chose those over MapQuest. They didn't get lost.
The OG
Alright.
Garmin, they came with a fucking bean sack bag that weighed 20 pounds to put over your dash.
My
Alright,
amazing,
And they had to
beautiful
stop
wife,
selling it.
and I'm sorry if you hear this, prefers a Garmin over Google Maps, and I do not get it.
She still has like working Garmin.
Yeah, they still make them.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, you can still get Garmin like watches that will
I
give
knew-
you like walking directions and shit.
I knew you could get the watches. That makes sense to go there after people stopped using their normal shit in the cars. After we could do it on their
No,
phones.
this is an audio, not micro. What was the one before micro USB? Mini USB.
Macro.
This is an old school mini USB connected device that's powered over an old like cigarette lighter that you
Cigarette.
update with a mini USB case or cord. But it came out in like 2021.
Nice. So
I hate it.
My parents actually, since they haul the fifth wheel, they have a Garmin. It's essentially like a tablet. It is that big, but what they offer with it also is like the 3-dimensional camera setup.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it you put one on the back of the trailer, you put like 2 on the sides of the trailer, and then it hooks up to like 2 of the sides, like under rearview mirrors, and it will display like if you're backing up, it will give you like a 3-dimensional view around the trailer.
Yeah. And a lot of
Cool.
boaters use them and
That
stuff
car-
like that.
that
so.
car does that.
I was just about to say, like, the only application that I think a Garmin nowadays is justified outside of the watch is fucking boats and trailers. Like,
Yeah, true.
that a Garmin is the only thing I trust if I'm on a boat in the middle of the ocean to navigate how to get to Cuba.
Talk about things with internal combustion motors. You guys see the new ZR1, the new Corvette?
Nope.
Yes.
5.5 liter twin turbo V8 making 1,064 horsepower, which is exactly
How much is it?
1 horse. It's like 120 grand. It's not badly priced.
Alright, I'm buying it.
It makes 1 more horsepower than the current highest horsepower production V8 that exists.
And
215
What
max
is the
miles
price
per
point?
hour.
120K.
At least 100K is what this says.
Yeah.
this is
Just said 120K.
this is still like this is a hypercar style kind of vehicle for a reasonable price point still.
Yeah,
Like,
and
peak
Corvette's
torque
been
is-
that for a while, to be honest
Right.
with you.
Been.
No, and that's always been their goal is like, let's give you fucking hypercar performance, but that's achievable for the average man. But a Corvette has always still had its own kind of aesthetic that didn't quite, to me at least, didn't quite match a hypercar lineup of vehicles. Whereas for the past few years now, they have. And like, this is just the next layer that's fucking epic.
So the base model coupe is estimated fully loaded $180,000. The
Ooh.
top model, the 3LZ ZR1, is estimated fully loaded at $205,000, which isn't bad. That's for what you're getting. That's not a bad price, especially when a fucking 1500 Silverado is almost $100,000.
This thing puts out 37 pounds of thrust from the tailpipe.
You can cook marshmallows with it.
That's a powerful fart, my friend.
That's a powerful fart. 828 foot-pounds of peak torque.
That is a fart that'll literally give you momentum.
It's a
Bro.
5.5 liter twin turbo flat plane crank engine. And I think, if I remember right, I'm trying to confirm it, I think it's overhead cam.
And it's not an LS series motor, it's an LT.
Yeah, it's
Also-
been like that since 2012.
If you guys can look up some audio files of the sounds that
Oh.
vehicle makes, it's
Yeah.
so nice.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. The interior still looks tacky as fuck to me, but that's because I'm
I
not
mean,
a
that's-
19-year-old.
That's
Also,
also
you gotta
Chevy that's Chevy in a nutshell.
You got to cut corners somewhere to keep that price point. Like,
Bro,
it's not going to be the sexiest interior.
At a
It's
1,000
Basic is what
RPM,
it is.
at 1,000 RPM, this thing makes 394 horsepower.
Holy shit.
So essentially at idle, you're making 400 horsepower.
And what does it take? Jet fuel?
No, this will run on fucking regular unleaded. They recommend
Unleaded,
premium, but
E85.
yeah, E85
Okay, 'cause
because
there's gonna be an
GM
E85
created the
vehicle.
E85 sensor. No, you get more horsepower with the E85.
What?
Yeah, GM
Damn.
created a sensor a while ago. I think it was their not Eco Boost, Flex Fuel. The Flex Fuel sensors can figure out how much ethanol is in your fuel and will modify your timing tables and your fueling tables based on that ethanol content. So when you get, because real E85 is actually like E60, E70, depending on if you're summer or winter blend. That's why the original ones that were programmed for E85 couldn't do both. So now that they can do any fuel you can stick in this thing other than fucking diesel, it'll modify your timing tables and your fueling tables so that you're getting peak horsepower, torque, and efficiency on your ethanol content.
What
And a
was
lot
that?
of
Well,
I
that's
think
kind of
I-
handy.
I think I saw something at Maverick where they have like like up to 15% ethanol gas now. It's like 10 cents cheaper than regular.
not all cars can safely run that, so be
Yeah,
careful with that.
I think
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
no.
anything newer than like 2021 or something they could do.
But a lot of the reason that a lot of race cars switch to E85 is because you have to change your entire, as far as a race car application, you have to change your entire fuel system in order to run it safely. Change the computer programming to run it. But E85, once you get it tuned, runs so much colder than normal fuel that the internal combustion temperatures that you can build on makes it to where you can build more power on the top end of things because you're running cooler. Fun facts.
Corey, you muted, I
That
think.
talk of the day.
My bad. Ridiculous amounts of timing as well.
Yeah.
So let's power through some of these. Samsung Watch debacle. You
It's
guys
not
seen
that
it?
Bad.
No,
I
what
don't know
I've been
much
seeing a
about that one.
picture of it.
It's a $600 watch. It's crooked.
Why is it purposely designed?
Not
Yeah,
that
they-
bad. It's crooked, homie.
Is it
The-
purposely
the
designed?
watch-
They don't know if it's gonna be a big thing yet.
The watch screen is put on wrong, so it is like the tolerances were fucked in the design phase. So it's got built-in pointers that's supposed to go like 12, 3, 6, and 9. They're offset by like 4 degrees. And it's
That's
not
gonna bug some
Yeah.
people.
it's
It only
not
happened to one person so far.
but I heard it happen to I heard there was a whole batch of them that it happened to. So
So wait,
yeah.
is this like Samsung Watch actually put in like real minute hour arms?
No.
Or is it just
It's digital and they're fixing it with programming, but they didn't go with a round screen this time. They went with more of an iPhone like screen, the rounded edge square.
Yeah,
So it's
like
super
iPhone.
fucking noticeable
Yeah,
once you
iWatch.
see it.
And it's the numbers etched into the watch themselves, not the screen too.
Yeah. They found out the numbers etched into the watch is correct. It's the screen that is physically crooked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
it's wild. Which makes me sad because I'm gonna trade my current Samsung phone in for a new Samsung phone, and they usually give you a free watch for that. So I'm trying to wait till it figures itself out. So past that one, Snoop being a torchbearer. High five, Snoop.
Hold up. Did you see how the torch was shaped this year?
It's
Yeah.
glorious.
It's
Snoop's
glorious.
Snoop's completing all the side quests. He's trying to 100%
It's
life.
Olympic
I get it.
I was about to say
Yeah, he is.
Snoop has completed the most side quests out of any human we probably know
Yeah.
or know of.
He
Anyway.
finished the main storyline years ago.
Yeah. He finished the main storyline back in the 90s. He is just doing side quests now. He's a funk band, guys. Like, what? Yes. When the bluegrass.
He done changed his whole persona for a while. Remember
Yeah.
Snoop Lion?
He trolled
Formerly
everybody
Snoop
by
Lion.
saying he quit smoking. Like,
That shit
dude's
was
completing
funny.
side quests. Esports in the Olympics. I'm a huge fan of.
The next Olympics, not current Olympics.
I'm still a huge fan. I think
Yeah,
it's
hell,
dope.
I can't.
Have you gone on the site yet?
No.
If you go on the Olympics esports site, you can. It's actually pretty cool looking.
I'm really
They're not
curious
doing
next
any
Olympics if
FPS.
they're actually going to have the contestants that are participating in the esports games fly in to the location of the Olympics, like
Oh, it'll
all
be
So they have to.
contestants.
They have
It's
to.
Annabelle, they have to. Because
I'm really curious how the athletes are going to react to these
Right.
fucking nerds
Nerds.
Who
that
knows?
have practiced their craft
Homie,
but
who,
are not peak physical condition like the majority of the Olympic athletes.
They
they
might
ain't
not
gonna be
peak
worried. They're gonna be
physical,
fucking.
But
Yeah.
their hand-eye coordination and everything like that, that's
You
like peak. But yeah, they're probably
Yeah, I was
finally
gonna
gonna
say
get laid because that's all the Olympic Village is just one
Yeah,
giant.
they all
village.
just gonna be
What's-
fucking each other. Like
I-
They're going to be
I would
hitting that
actually-
G button so hard.
What's
I'd
that?
actually be very interested to see them do like take some of the Olympic like shooting competition gold medalists and then put them up against somebody in like a practice shooter against like one of the esports kids.
Oh,
right?
like aimbot?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
like
not
aim
aimbot,
labs.
but like the aiming
labs.
software, like the practice. You know,
Yeah.
Isn't Counter Strike one of the games?
No, I don't think. From what I heard, and this was early on when they were
Gonna be
voting, I
Dota.
don't think there are any
Oh.
FPS games.
Oh,
It's going to be like Rocket League. It's going to
Shocker.
be probably. It's probably going to be like League of
Hey.
Legends. Going to be stuff like that. The thing is like, what FPS would they do? Because it wouldn't be Call of Duty. It wouldn't be Halo. It probably might just be Counter Strike, or they might just do Valorant or something like that.
I mean,
But
I could see
what it's
Valorant.
rumored,
I can see Valorant.
what it's rumored to be is like Rocket League and League of Legends.
Ew.
Hell, I'm thinking
Ew.
StarCraft.
I mean,
I would
look,
love to see Olympic StarCraft.
I played the hell out of some Rocket League, and I enjoyed like the car
could-
soccer, right?
I could
So-
see Rocket
I wasn't
League, but I'm not
oohing to
gonna- I'm not
Rocket
gonna watch-
League. I was
yeah, that
oohing
was,
to the
uh,
name that should not be named.
I would
StarCraft.
not watch League of Legends.
Yeah.
I'm not against
Holy-
esports being in the Olympics. I'm not against the people that compete in esports being in the Olympics. But of all fucking games, Rocket League?
Have you seen that?
Rocket League
have
gets
you
competitive,
seen
man.
top
I mean, look,
players?
I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting the competitive side of it. I'm not doubting the tournament side of Rocket League. But like of all the fucking games that make it to an Olympic level,
well, I mean, think about it. It's really one of the better games, the longer standing games that is a actual sport, right? So it's
Yeah.
soccer. It's soccer with cars.
Do you
And
think
it-
they can
it
put
means-
Madden in there?
No, it meets other requirements such as like low bar to entry. You can actually like start as long as you have a functional potato with a computer screen plugged into it. You can start on Rocket League and make your way up the tournament
Yep.
leagues.
One of
True.
my
That's
one of
fair.
my friends actually kind of got me. I don't play it as much because I haven't played in a long time, but they've worked themselves up to being in kind of like the top like 5% of the players in North America. So it's a very
Nice.
competitive game. It's just car soccer.
Yeah.
But I think that's why they're using it for the first Olympics, right? Because
Yeah.
it is a real sport, soccer, that they put into a video game
It's-
with cars, right? So like,
It's that. It's also very kind of as Kain and just as you were saying, Scorch. It's a very easy to understand game because if we just throw like, if we throw League out there, there's going to be only like the people that understand League or MOBAs are going to watch it. But if you throw Rocket League and you just tell people, hey, it's 3-on-3 soccer, where instead of running to the ball, they control little RC cars. People are like, I'll give it a try.
yeah,
Hell,
they can buy into it because
there
they're
is-
going to understand the rules already.
There was
Like,
tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people watching water polo for the Olympics. And water polo is an insane sport. All those athletes, insane. But you could get that many people to watch water polo.
sorry,
You could get a lot of people to watch
Good.
car soccer.
Yo, how mad would you be if it was Fortnite?
I
wouldn't be,
I would
honestly.
be really. I wouldn't be that mad. I'd be really sad because then it'd just be a bunch of. I wonder what the age is going to be because typically
I don't
for
know. Fortnite
competitive-
takes some skill to get really good at.
it does. But
I wonder
as
what
far
age
as
they're going
es-
to allow.
I mean, as
to,
far
like,
as esports
start.
are concerned, it's adults. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's nobody under the age of 18 who is allowed in esports at the moment, I believe.
Right.
So it used to be 16. I wonder if I guess they might have upped it to 18.
No,
but, like,
there's
you
14-year-old gymnastics people.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say because each sport's different. So like skateboarders,
there's a
I don't know
12-year-old.
there was a 12-year-old from Thailand. In gymnastics, I think you have to be 16 now because back in like the Beijing Olympics, there was a lot of controversy. I think.
Let's get some doctors
Someone
for
that
getting
was-
touchy.
Yeah. And then, so I think it depends, but I think esports, they might as well just go with like the basic rule, which most esports are like you have to be 16 or older to compete professionally. So that's why
Yeah.
you see a lot of like these high schoolers play on like minor league teams. And then as soon as they hit the age minimum, they take out like whoever was supposed to be in their spot and
And
put them in.
middle schools and high schools, at least in the state I'm in, have esports teams as well. So you can be sponsored by
Same
your
here.
school and move up through the ranks that way. They also
Same
have
here in the
drone
state I'm
racing
in.
teams, which is fucking. I wish I
shit's
was like a 12-year-old right now.
As fuck.
I've seen drone racing videos, and that shit is dope.
Dude, the Red Bull drone racing, that shit's epic.
I feel like I'd get motion sickness, but I would love to try it.
There's definitely a possibility of motion sickness
Oh,
on
yeah.
those ones, but they are fun to fucking watch.
And then we'll leave the Starlink Mini till next week because I want to go in that one in depth.
Mhm.
And then WoW workers are unionizing.
Good
I'm
for
about
them.
it. I
Let's
hate them because they created
go.
WoW, and that took the better part of my 20s away from me. But you know, I'm all about them unionizing.
For granted, you also gave the better part of your 20s to a large entity that WoW gave you an escape.
Yeah, an unnamed government entity. Yeah, you're not wrong. I've played WoW in every no, not every deployment I've been on. I've played WoW in almost all my deployments. We couldn't get good direct internet in Afghanistan. But
I
Yeah.
wonder why.
Iraq, Libya, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Philippines, most of Africa, I could play WoW in.
Good
That's
to
because
know.
there was no Starlink back then.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm hoping with WoW unionizing that WoW fucking gets good again.
see.
I wouldn't get your hopes
I
up.
agree with that.
I mean, my
It's
hopes are already
jumping.
fucking way down here. So like,
I get it. It's the workers are protected, which is really the better part of that. But
yeah, I mean,
whether or
and
not the work
that's-
is going to be good is highly questionable because that direction still comes from up top.
I mean,
And WoW's seeing a resurgence right now. Microsoft
and
kicked a lot of them in their ass and forced them to actually put out good shit, not
Okay,
this will
let's
be
be fair.
goofy.
WoW Classic is getting a resurgence, which makes sense. The current WoW is still hot garb.
No, it's not WoW Classic. I agree with that, but it is just numbers alone. You're seeing a resurgence in WoW right now. It's weird. They got a new expansion coming out, and people are legitimately getting into it. I read an article yesterday about a video game reviewer that tried World of Warcraft for the first time, not Classic, just like current state World of Warcraft,
modern WoW.
and she's getting into it hard. And I'm just like, I can't finish this article. I'm gonna end up redoing my WoW subscription.
Yeah,
Don't
not
do
worth
it. Come play
No.
14 with me.
Yeah.
Don't do that either. Stay away from MMORPGs. They'll
Don't
take
do
your
that.
life
Just
away.
jump into Once Human.
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's my weekend plan since the significant other's out of
Let's
town.
go.
Nice.
Yes. Perfect.
But yeah, and then we'll discuss Starlink Mini because I think this thing's pretty fucking dope on the next podcast. Who wants to close us out? I can close us out. All right,
I can do it.
do it.
Our AI bot can't knows no.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. I don't even have a nose. You can tell by my portrait. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always contact us at TheDepthsofJigoku.
You definitely have a nose on your portrait.
Maybe. Who knows? I don't care. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, all at TheDepthsofJigoku. I hope you enjoyed this little. I guess it didn't need to go this way, but it was like a blast to the past, like reset to retro episode. Hope everybody make sure if you're not doing good, you talk to somebody, reach out. Again, have fun in life. You guys have a great night or morning.
If you're feeling some kind of way, reach out to some kind of person. And Scorch, I might need you to program me a new Stumble Upon. All right, bye guys.
Peace out.
See what I can do.
seconds, everything looking good. We show altitude about 47,000 feet. Houston, I'm getting a little fluctuation in the AC voltage now. Roger. 50 meter maybe, huh? Stand by. Looking good. You're still looking good. It's coming up 3 minutes.